Coach Ross give us an opening statement. And then if you have a question, please alert me by either raising your hand with the emoji, or you can alert me in the chat that you have a question. This time I will turn it over to Dwayne Ross.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for all the support. We're very, very proud over here with what the men achieved yesterday. I mean, that was, as a coach, you know, I was able to sit up and in the stands and watch them perform. Just a great overall competition to finish behind, you know, two teams that are national championship teams with, you know, LSU and Oregon is an accomplishment in itself. So just so proud of these guys. They knew they were outgunned coming in. We didn't have the numbers that Oregon or LSU had, but, you know, they knew every event they ran in had to be quality. You know, we had to score high, and they stepped up and they did that.
Our first question comes from Lauren Walsh from WXII. Lauren.
Good morning. Congrats to everyone. This question is for Coach. How would you describe the determination and work ethic of these guys leading up to both the 4x400 win and the open performances from Randolph and Trevor?
Off the charts, off the charts. You know, this the determination and the grit that these guys have, it didn't start at this competition. You know, they've had it since they've been here at A&T, and it's just gotten more and more intense as the years have rolled by. And then obviously with COVID, you know, having the impact that it did this past season and their season being shut down, it just made them just, you know, hungry for more. So we talked about this at the beginning of the season, and more importantly, they talked about it. When your student athletes, you know, start to get together, their own goals, you know, they wanted to do some big things. They wanted to win big. I never heard them complain about, you know, anything. When they started doing that, I mean, you know, you're on the right path. And as a coach, you know, it's fun to sit back and watch those guys. So they're hungry. You know, I mean, we're already talking about next season. As we were getting the trophy for the presentation last night, we're already talking about next season.
Our next question comes from Dan Harnden, WGHP, Fox 8. Danny?
Hey, Coach, can you talk big picture, what this means to the program to finish third? I mean, especially when you go out recruit and you tell kids, hey, you come to A&T. I mean, we don't just have fast runners here and there. We finished third in the country. What does this do for your program?
Oh, I mean, it's going to do wonders. We had about 15 emails before we got back to the hotel last night from different recruits from all over the country. So as far as the recruiting aspect is huge. You know, I think we do a great job recruiting, but anytime you're winning makes everything a little easier. So we're definitely going to take advantage of that. On the other side, I mean, these athletes, you know, our program here, these student athletes that we have, they're engineers, they're accounting majors, business majors. I mean, they do great in the classroom as well. So just to add that third place, you know, with what we're already doing, I mean, we're depending on that. You know, the goal is to hold up the big trophy, you know, next season, you know, the #1 spot. So this is definitely going to help propel us there.
Our next question comes from Eddie Hughes from Spectrum TV.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
What does this mean as far as your timeline was concerned? You've always talked about holding up that #1 trophy. You just mentioned it. Are you ahead of schedule? Or are you right on schedule? Or I mean, how are you with your program as far as where you thought you'd be when you came to A&T?
Well, that's a tough question. I really hadn't, you know, given it a timeline. I think we get better every year. You know, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. My student athletes, you know, knew it was. I mean, it's not easy to win a national championship in any sport. So I don't think we've really given ourselves a timeline. We just try to get better and better, you know, each year. And after each competition, even this competition last night, you know, I was sitting back like, okay, where can we improve? I've already reached out to the student athletes at home who did make this trip about what we need to do next year in preparation for this. So I guess if I had to give an answer to that, I would say that we're good with the timeline that we're on. I mean, we're going to get it. You know, I'm not rushing our student athletes. You know, we got to prepare the way we prepare. You know, and it'll come. I do believe that. I do believe we're going to get it, and it may be next season.
Our next question comes from James Hill, BNC Sports.
Hey, Coach Ross, congratulations on all your success. When you look at North Carolina A&T Aggies track and field and the accomplishments that were put in stone yesterday, talk about what you see there and that legacy of Aggie pride, and also what this means for HBCU athletics going forward.
Yeah, now, you know, that's something that's close and dear, you know, to my heart as well as our student athletes. Because we do speak about this often, and they'll, you know, echo this sentiment as well. This was more than just winning races, right? This is every HBCU, you know, the MEAC and the SWAC. I mean, they are so supportive, and just the outpour of love that they gave us last year. I mean, not last year, last night, and just, you know, leading up to this point. Because what it does, it shows, you know, I mentioned this, you know, prior to the competition, how we were told, you know, we couldn't win a national championship, you know, at an HBCU, you know, that it was impossible. You don't have the resources. Told that many times, you know, and all it did was, you know, make that fire burn hotter, you know, for us over here. So that is something that we take a lot of pride in. You know, it does my heart, you know, well to know that we have a lot of alumnus, you know, that are just, you know, proud of this. They, you know, saw history made last night, and they'll continue to see history made. You know, just proud of these guys. This is not me. I put them together, you know, and these guys, man, they have heard this day in and day out since they've been here at A&T, and now this machine has a mind of its own. These guys they've taken it and they're running with it. They're leading each other, you know, in that quest to continue making history.
Coach, Randolph is having a phenomenal experience. Can you talk a little bit about what he was able to do yesterday? And again, I mean, when we talk about Aggie pride and setting stone and making history, it's definitely there.
Yeah. Listen, proud of that kid as a young man, as a coach, but even more so as a father. I was telling someone else, I don't get nervous when our team's competing. But I get nervous when my own children are competing, you know, and so yeah, I was nervous for him yesterday, but just so proud of how he competed and how he composed himself. I mean, actually, there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to finish, you know, either one or two. The only person I thought could beat him was his teammate and whatnot. But and I actually expected both of them to run under 44 seconds because they're both in shape to do that and whatnot. So. But yesterday was his day, and you know I'm proud of him. I mean, he's a great student. He's a great young man. He's so much more than 4385, and you know, and I hope the world will see that one day.
Coach, in closing,
Hold on, James. Let me circle back to you.
I'm sorry.
Our next question comes from Lauren Walsh from WXII.
Thanks, Brian. This one is for the 4x4 team. I saw on Twitter, someone wrote that this is now 400U or 400 University with all your accomplishments. So if each of you wouldn't mind answering, what does that mean to you? And just how would you describe the chemistry you all built and the way you pushed each other for that race?
We'll start with Trevor Stewart, and then we'll go Randolph, Daniel, and Akeem. Trevor?
Well, as you said, 400U. So I would say that we do have a strong 400 squad. Like I am the oldest one that actually has been in the 4 this whole time. So I can say like we've built up a whole basis of training hard, relying on each other, and just going out and doing our best in each step of the way. And we hold each other accountable for it.
Go ahead, Ross.
Well, this is my second year in this program, and coming in, the 400 squad was based off me, Trevor, Akeem. We had the other Akeem in the 400 hurdles, and through the years, well, each year we progressed in that program. It's each of us, we know the event is hard and not everybody can do it. So by it being that, we all worked on each other, we progressed as a team, and we just managed to come out on top.
Daniel?
With it being my first year here, I just had to adjust to the program and be able to step up in the 400 for the 4x4 just to make sure I get my guys through. And yeah, our chemistry is good. We just had to work.
Hakeem?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to label ourselves as being, 400U. I like to label ourselves as being one of the best teams to compete at NCAA and continue to get better as a team and as a unit. So, I mean, having that, 400U, accomplishment on our name is good, but I like to be, known as one of the best teams to ever do it. So, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question comes from Danny Harnden, Fox 8. Danny?
Coach, this is for you, and the guys can jump in afterward if you want. It was really cool to watch last night on TV. I can't imagine what it was like to be in there, what they've done to that stadium and all the hard work you've done your whole life. It's showtime. What's it like when you're getting ready to go?
Hey man, hey, I'll let the guys jump in on this as well, because this is something we talk about. I talk about this when I get on the bus before we pull out of the parking lot. When the lights come on, this is your moment. I was just telling them yesterday, as when I competed back in the day myself, this the only thing I really miss from those days is that moment right before the competition. So if you're an athlete, I mean, you love that and you use it, and these guys do that. So I mean, it was. I will say this was a tremendous experience. The stadium is beautiful. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful stadiums I've been in. I mean, but why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's you got to see it for yourself. But then you throw in the crowd and the teams and the energy. The things that we've missed during COVID. I mean, really, it really brings you back. When you get these teams in the stadiums and you start hearing these people cheer and and the performances, it reminds you of what we really took for granted over the last couple of years when it was taken away from us. So just a tremendous experience, and especially when your team is ready to run and doing well, just takes it over the top. But yeah, these guys, man, they're competitors. Nothing's better as a coach to be able to sit back and watch your kids, perform, and they're going to perform at their best. There's nothing better than that.
In terms of the athletes, we'll go in the same order we did last time, starting with Trevor.
Well, I want to say, as Coach Ross always kind of drills into us, when the lights come on, it's time to perform. So you got to show up and show out as best you possibly can and keep moving forward.
Yeah, especially being on the national stage, you can just feel the energy of the crowd. So I think the best part of this meet was walking through the tunnel onto the track. And as soon as you walk out, you can hear the crowd screaming. And just at that point, it's time to go, and there's no second thinking.
Yeah, I think seeing the crowd, everybody from AAT out there on the sides just cheering us on. So yeah.
The energy we brought to this meet was just positive energy, high intensity, and then holding each other accountable. I mean, I love my guys, man. I love my team. We've been doing this since 2019, and we actually had a chance to come out here and win a national title in the 4x4. So having that crowd and our teammates, supporting us and other teams supporting us, it was just a blessing. And I'm excited, and I'm excited that you're on our girls team today. So.
Our next question comes from Tali Carr, HBCU Game Day. Tali.
Hey, thank you, Brian. My question for the athletes, particularly Trevor and Randolph, I'm interested in the dynamic of how you guys sharpen one another by competing, but also that dynamic of being teammates at the same time, and how that works for you guys.
We'll start with Trevor again and then go to Ross Jr.
Well, Personally, I treat Junior like he's a little brother to me. Like he pushes me so much harder than I've ever been pushed, and it's a blessing. Like I wouldn't trade him for the world. Like he's helped me through so much problems in my race strategy within myself, and just has talked me through a lot of things that I didn't know that I was having a problem with until he actually brought up to me like, how about you try this instead of this? And he's been helping me out a long way through, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, like what Trevor was saying, me and Trevor been going at it since high school. I used to come on summer trips and would train over the summer for summer track. But it's me and Trevor have two different race strategies. I like to shoot out the first 200 and he likes to come back. So working together, it just fixed both of our race strategies. It made my second half stronger and it made his first two stronger. So it's at practice we go at it almost every day. But when we get to competition, we all know that we both can give it our best and whatever happens, happens.
Our next question comes from James Hill, BNC Sports.
Guys, can you take this question one by one? What does this mean to the legacy of Aggie Pride? And for the rest of your lives, you know that you did something special. And anytime you go to Greensboro, there's a trophy there that says national champions. Talk about the sense of accomplishment, please.
We'll go in the same order as we did before with all four guys, starting with Trevor.
It shows that that it doesn't matter what anyone else has. It's the heart that we have. It shows that we're not just here to fill up lanes. We're not any lane fillers. We're really here to compete. We're here to push our narrative forward and to continue being the best that we are, because we're more than just HBCU. We're a whole community of people that actually come together for one common cause, and we actually want to be the best.
Yeah, being able to come back to Greensboro, bringing the trophy back is amazing. Like a lot of people outside of LSU and Oregon, they didn't think this was possible for us. We came in with 9 people, I believe, and next year, hopefully we'll be able to bring more. But when he came to the final, we were working with 6. So being able to finish third as a team with the amount of people we had is amazing. And HBCUs are creating its own. I've been getting messages from different coaches that have visited HBCUs, and we can tell the impact that we've made as a team. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it just shows like how much we really worked when we was back home. Like we was really dying every day, making sure we push each other, and it proved to work when we got to the big screen, and we just did what we had to do.
Yeah, this is right now. This is like, Chris, Kayla, and Rodney. They paved the way for us, and now we're walking, and then the next group is going to be able to just finish out strong and actually get that first place trophy. Because doing what we did this weekend was just amazing. All the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears we did in and out, and then just trusting coach. Coach, he's the man with the plan, and we just go out there and execute his plan. Without him, I don't think none of us would be able to come out here with the mindset that we did. So thanks to him, but like I said before, our guys, we just wanted it more. So yeah.
Our next question goes back to Eddie Hughes, Spectrum TV. Eddie.
This coach is for Randolph. Your dad touched on, what it meant for him to see you win the 400. What did it mean for you with your dad being your coach and, the special relationship that you guys have?
When it comes to track and practice, he kind of tends to treat everybody the same. Like we don't focus on, he doesn't focus on me more than he would anybody else. At practice, our 400 group is a group. Everybody gets the same treatment. We all we all get talked to the same. We're all a family. It's not just me. So being able to go out there and run that time is it's shocking for me because I didn't know how fast I was going to be able to go. But we expect the same from everybody else. Next year, Daniel's going to be in the open four. We're going to see what else we have recruiting since we're going to be missing Trevor. But it's being able to be in that moment and perform on that stage is great.
Our next question comes from Brian Hall, WFMY. Brian.
This question is for Trevor. Just sort of walk us through that feeling, coming around that final curve, far enough ahead, knowing that, this team was going to win the national championship.
Well, I want to say it was similar to the feeling of indoor when we did the same thing, but it was marginally different in various ways. So how we set up our strategy was basically to shoot out in front and continue to be in front. And we had a little shakiness on that part, but the thing is, we always are here to compete. We're never going to back out of a race or competition because of something goes amiss or anything happens. We're always going to continue to push forward. So when I got the baton and I shot off the first curve, I didn't realize anything was happening until I got to like the last 200 where I actually started pushing out more. So that last 100 to like 50 meters, I was just going for the line. I didn't think of anything else. There was no worries or literally no thoughts in my mind besides just run, just go. And that's how we got here.
Let's go back to HBCU game day. Tolly Carr. Tolly.
This one's for Coach. Coach, as you continue to build your program, I'm just curious, what is your vision for the field events and the athletes that you're recruiting there? You guys are world-class in the sprints, obviously, but as you continue to put together the whole program, I was curious about that.
Yeah. We have a solid plan for that. We've really been working on that. This year was the first year that we were able to take a thrower. We had a female thrower at the regional championships. She'll be back next year. We saw Brandon Hicklin, All-American. He had a big meet here, finished fourth with a big personal best. And we had 2 female high jumpers to make it to regionals. And we have a female high jumper competing today that made it here. So we're definitely growing in these areas. We're putting a lot of emphasis in this area. As I was telling the team on the way here, we were speaking about this, how we have to continue to grow, that it can't be just about one event area. Obviously, we see what, this event area can do, but if we're going to win an NCAA championship and we're going to continue to win an NCAA championship, as I mentioned earlier, the goal is to get better year in and year out. So if we had won NCAAs this season, the goal would still be to win it again next season. Once we win it, there's no desire to give it back up. So the only way we can do that is to keep building and progressing this program. So we've really been putting some emphasis on recruiting and getting some solid student athletes, that fit the mold for A&T and for our program, so we can continue to do this. So I'm excited. This move we're making, to the Big South, as an athletic department and institution, that has forced our hand, because that's a conference that is, well balanced in a lot of areas. Pole vault, distance events, field events, and we have to adapt. And I think that's one thing our coaching staff does well. We adapt. So we're on the right path with that, which is, as I mentioned, evident from what we've done here and the other events.
All right, thank you. Congrats, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Let's circle back to Fox 8, Danny Harnden.
This is for Akeem. Akeem, right after the race, where's the celebration? I know you guys are tired and everything, but is it just not cool to celebrate too much, or did y'all just expect to win? Y'all are just like, hey, good job, good job, good job. You just won a national championship. Where's the celebration?
Coach always told us, have fun, but, be in the moment. Don't get too overly excited, act like you've been there before. And that's what we did. It was a great accomplishment, but, we act like we've been there before and we've done it before. So that's it. That's what it was.
All right, we have time for one more question. James Hill, BNC Sports.
Coach, in closing, congratulations again on the victory. What would you like to tell everybody out there as they get an update on NCAT track and field national championships, third in the country, and the saga continues as you move forward? What would you like everybody out there to know?
You know, that this continues to be a program that's serious, you know, about competing. You know, we take what we do very seriously. We have a lot of pride in it. We're not different than anyone else. You know, we may not have the, you know, $200 million stadium, you know, but that's okay. Beautiful stadium, love it here, and great relationship with the coaches here, and and that's well deserved. They deserve everything that they've gotten. They've won all these championships, so well deserved. But the message needs to be continually put out there, you know, and everyone needs to be reminded that this is a program that means business. I mean, we're not going anywhere. If anyone thought this was a one-hit wonder, you know, or a two-hit wonder, then they were mistaken. You know, the goal is, you know, to be the best. So that's always going to be the goal. That's why we do this. That's why any coach does this, I would presume. And we're no different. So, you know, the labels, you know, the best HBCU and things like that. I want to, you know, remind the world that, yeah, while we're proud to be an HBCU and we're proud of our culture, and it's more than that. It's about being the best. We don't want to keep hearing, you know, A&T did this. Oh, and that's great for an HBCU. Well, we're a little tired of hearing that. You know, the fact of the matter is, you know, this is an extraordinary group of young men, an extraordinary program, and they're extraordinary because, you know, they come from an HBCU and not the other way around. So the world needs to start using that acronym in the correct manner. You know, they're extraordinary because they come from an HBCU, you know, and not a program that did well and happens to be an HBCU. So the world needs to, you know, fix that. Let's work on how we use that acronym and whatnot. So that's the message I would leave the world with. As I mentioned, you know, so proud of what we've done, but hey, you know, recognize this program as you know, one of the best programs in the country, and, you know, point blank.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate the coverage of North Carolina A&T athletics. We want to thank Coach Ross and his athletes for joining us. It's morning out there, so I want to thank them for getting up after a late night and joining